A perfectly valid substitute would be a chest press machine using the same range of motion. Not locking out, and then just breaking the plane of your shoulders. Which leads us to some muscle myths about pectoral training. You change the shape of your pectorals by changing exercises. Now, look back at any bodybuilder from the 70s and look at that guy's muscle shape over the years. It doesn't change. Maybe he gets overall bigger or smaller, but the shape doesn't change in spite of the fact that over a lifetime of training, he or she probably did a variety of exercises. Then look at that bodybuilder surrounded by his contemporaries. They all have different shape, even though they've all done the same exercises. Once you're training, your muscle shape is your muscle shape, and any change in appearance depends on how much fat you're carrying, and for us older guys, how tight your skin is. You work your inner, middle, outer pec, or your upper, middle, lower pec by changing angles, exercises, whatever. Doesn't matter. Because A, you're not going to change your shape, but B, that paradigm of isolating out parts of the pectoral is not entirely supported by the biomechanics. First, fiber recruitment is based on load, speed, and probably effort, not joint angle or feel or visual protrusion. Second, at great loads or efforts, there is a successive recruitment of muscle groups, starting with the closest and working its way out. So even if you could isolate the sternal portion of the pectoral, the most proximal muscle groups are the clavicular and abdominal attachments, so they would unavoidably get involved. More specific to the pectoral. More specific myth to the pectorals is the inner, middle, and outer idea. Pectorals attach across the clavicle, across the sternum, and then across the ribs. And all these fibers attached in those different spots merge into a single tendon crossing in front of the upper arm and attaching on the outside of the shoulder. They don't attach from the sternum to here, then from the middle to here, and then from here to the end, sort of in vertical stripes. If you do an exercise that you feel in these vertical segments, that just means the sticking point is hitting at that point in the muscle torque curve, not that you're isolating a vertical strip of fibers. The fibers that work from here to here are the same fibers that work from here to here, are the same fibers that work from here to here, just at different points on their muscle torque curve. Now the upper, middle, lower idea has slightly more substance. The clavicular pec works separate from the sternal and the abdominal attachments in shoulder flexion with the front deltoid. The sternal and the abdominal attachments work separate from the clavicular for a lower adduction. So conceivably, you could try to work each section separately, but would that change the shape of your pectoral? Or does it just reduce the weight in your hand because less muscle is working at an awkward angle? One thing that is certain is if your arm path splits the difference between pure flexion and pure adduction, if your arm path is here, you engage all three areas of the pectoral in one movement. It's probably the safest path for your shoulder joint, and it will allow you to work with heavier weight compared to other shoulder positions. So whatever shape you're going to get more efficiently. So to summarize congruent exercise for the pectorals, position your upper arm between flexion and adduction. There's no knee cap at the shoulder, so don't overstretch with the weight. And maintain your effort throughout the rep by not locking out, avoiding zero moment arm.
Who is this Bill DeSimone character and what does he know? His whole personal training studio could fit in my right biceps. I won the Mr. Olympia 8 times. I'm the governor of California. I make movies.